I want to create a report that will list all of the faculty members within their departments and also list the salary for the faculty members. In addition, I would like to list the raise that they'll be getting this next year. So I'm going to click on Faculty Table, go to Create, and again I like using the wizard, so I'll create Report Wizard, and it says what do we want to base this report on, and I want to base it on the faculty table. I want the first name of the faculty, last name, salary, and I need department as well. Hit next, and it says, do you want to add any grouping levels? Yes, because I want to group this by department. So if I click on department and then use the little key to move it over to our example, hit next. It says you can sort records by up to 4 fields. Do I want any type of sorting? I do want it sorted on last name. Hit next. Says what type of layout do you want? I'm going to keep the default stepped. The orientation though, I want to change to landscape. Hit next. What do you want to title this? Well, I already have a faculty report, so I'm going to call this Faculty Raises. It says preview the report or modify. I'm just going to hit preview and then finish. This is what my report looks like. You can see I've got a lot of white space in here. I need to shrink down some of my columns, and I can't even see all of my salary. So if I go, this is in print preview right now, I need to close out print preview. Go to my design view, I can redesign my report. I've got faculty raises, that's my title. If I want to add some type of design in report design tools on the design tab, I can add a theme. I can change the colors on my report, choose a theme that I like, or create my own theme, and select a particular theme I want. I'm going to view that, see what it looks like. It kind of looks about the same, doesn't it? Not much different. Well, one thing I can do in design view, somewhere in the report header, is maybe add my logo, and that's just by going to home and then copy my logo and paste it here within the group. I can resize any of these areas that I want, make them a little bit deeper so that my logo will show just by grabbing any of the borders and moving my mouse up and down. Alright, let's look. We've got the report header. This is what shows up on the very first page of the report. Page header, department, last name. These are labels. If you look at our labels up here, department, last name, first name, this will show up on every page. And then underneath the labels, I have a label for my department. And within the departments, the grouping that I have for my faculty members. Back to design view, I want to get rid of some of that white space in between. So I'm just going to grab my label for department and shrink it down just a little bit, and shrink my department text field down as well. Now this is the label, and this is what actually will show up from the table. This is bound to the table. Click my last name. Use my arrow keys on my keyboard to move this over. And then I'm going to shrink the width down on that as well. This is my detail. This is what's bound to a table. My last name. It will pull a last name from a table. And I'm going to shrink that down. If I want these the label and the text field down below to be evenly aligned on the left, I can go to Arrange, Align, and Align Left, and that will make those perfectly even on my report. It's all about what it looks like. Click on first name, we'll move that over as well. I'm going to shrink that down just by grabbing a sizing handle on the side of that area, text area. Move that over. Click on first name. This is bound control. When I say bound, this is in the detail. This is what appears from the tables. Okay, one more field that I have to add is the salary. Now salary's way over here. Again, use my arrow keys. It's a lot easier to move it that way. That way the alignment shouldn't be out, at least from top to bottom. Notice my salary label is right aligned. I want it left aligned. If I just click in that field, click on the home, or excuse me, design, format. How about that? We finally found it. Format under font, I'm going to left align this. Okay, now my salary is left aligned. I'm going to make those fields even. If I hit the shift key, select both of them. Oops. And then go to arrange, align, left. Okay. Now then, let's see what this looks like. Go to home, and then looks a lot better. Now my salary, I may need to shorten that field a little bit because I'd like it a little bit more under the label. Go back to design. It's just a matter of going back and forth, really. Okay, I'm going to shorten that down just a little bit. Let's see what it looks like now. Looks a little bit better. Okay. Now then, remember, I want a new column out here that says raise, and I need to insert a calculated field that will calculate the raise. I know I did a query very similar, but we're going to do this in report view. Go back to design, and then under the design tab, we want to insert a text box. So I'm going to draw this box. I'm going to shrinken this label down a little bit to match my other control. And if you notice, this is an unbound. That means it's not bound to a field in the table, and that's right, because we want to create some type of formula that will calculate the raise. And over here is the label for this. If you notice, it kind of fell right on top of salary, but I want this label to go right on top in the page header with the other labels. So if I go to let's see, arrange, click on the arrange, and then click on tabular, because that's the way our table was arranged in tabular format, it moves the label up from my calculation. I'm going to click in just in a blank area here, and right now this says text 13. It's kind of hard to see, but I'm going to highlight that and I'm going to call it raise. And then in this unbound, I'm going to highlight that text there, and I'm going to create a formula. Just like Excel, we need to put the equal sign. Just like we did in a query, no, we didn't put the equal sign, but we put the equal sign first, but in the query, I'm going to use a square bracket and take the salary field. It says take a value out of that salary field and multiply it by 10%, which is 0.10. Now then, let's look at our, go back to home in report view, and this is our raise amount. So it looks good so far, except that I need to do some formatting. I want to take that box around. I want to make that box transparent, and then I need to add my currency formatting here to raise. Go back to design view. Click in the text field under the detail where we have our formula. Go to property sheet up above. It says for format, we want currency. And then border, this is the border around that particular cell. We don't want it to show up right now. It's solid. Let's change that to transparent. Once we do that, I'm going to close the property sheet out. Go back to report view. And that's better. That's what I want. Except my raise now, I need to move that over. Again, it's just going back and forth and getting it the way that you want it. Raise. I'm going to click in the raise box, and even though it looks like it's left aligned, apparently it didn't show up that way. So go to format and then left align. Now let's go back to home and check this out. Better. You see, we're getting there, but it still takes a little bit of movement. I need to move or shrinking down that box in design. and I can do that both at the same time. Let's see if that looks a little bit better. Again, I can play with it a little bit more. But that's how you add a calculated field. Now what if I wanted to add the salary to the raise and put new salary? If I go to design, I'm not going to do that. I do the very same step. I use this text box, draw a text box here, and then change that. If you recall, we had to change that to a tabular style. And then I would just do equals salary plus raise, and make sure that I have my field names within the square brackets and that they match the field names that are in the tables. And that's all you do.